Name's Caleb Shaw, 24. Occupation: card-carrying member of the Hollywood gig economy. Special skill: being consistently irrelevant. If life had saved points, I swear I would reload to the moment before I signed the contract for this dating show. Heartbeat countdown. Then I'd take my agent, Big Mike, the one who conned me with the whole easy money, tons of new followers line, and I'd zip-tie him to the ceiling fan in his office. On high. Right now, I'm sitting in a studio that looks like it was decorated by Bubblegum Factory, on a pink sofa as hard as a park bench. Across from me, the host's face, caked with 8 layers of foundation, is smiling like a wilted daisy. All right, everyone, time for our final game of the night. Truth or dare. The loser has to face a soul-searching question from our producers. I felt nothing. If anything, I wanted to yawn. As an actor who's been in the game for 3 years and still can't get a callback for a car commercial, I was on this show for one reason: the paycheck. The other contestants were here for love, for shipping opportunities, for screen time. I was here to make next quarter's rent. My strategy from day one has been the 3 don'ts. Don't engage, don't speak, don't steal the spotlight. I was aiming to be human wallpaper, the kind of guy the comment section wouldn't even bother to mention. But fate, it seems, enjoys grabbing you by the scruff of the neck. The game was simple. Hot potato. The potato was a fugly stuffed animal. The music was some royalty-free, upbeat pop track the director was playing from his phone. When the music cut out, the ugly doll was sitting right in my lap. Of course. Me. Great. Should have checked my horoscope this morning. The host's smile widened. Congratulations, Caleb. Now for your question. What is the contact name for your most recent ex-girlfriend in your phone? Boom. My brain blue-screened, struck by a bolt of lightning. Ex-girlfriend? I've only ever had one girlfriend in my entire life. A girlfriend whose name I still don't dare type into a Google search bar. A woman who just won a Golden Globe, the industry's new darling, with 80 million followers on Instagram. A woman named Sophia Reed. We were college sweethearts. We'd moved from campus life into the real world together. Back when I was a broke drama student hustling for bit parts, she was already a rising star. We squeezed into a shoebox studio apartment in the Valley, ate $5 pizzas, and felt like the richest people in the world. Then she got famous. Not just famous, but supernova famous. She became a household name, while I was still Caleb Shaw, wrestling for scraps in the mud. The gap between us became a chasm. It was raining the day we broke up, a rare, miserable downpour. I watched her rush back from film set, exhausted, the dark circles under her eyes too deep for concealer to hide. She was still holding a birthday cake she'd bought for me. In that moment, the string inside me labeled inadequacy finally snapped. "We should break up," I said. She just stared at me, her beautiful eyes filled with disbelief. I steeled myself and said a lot of ugly things. The gist was that I wasn't good enough for her, that I didn't want to drag her down, that she deserved to fly higher. The final nail in the coffin was a line that still makes me want to punch myself in the face. From now on, we run in different circles. If you're there, I won't be. Then I ran like a coward. We haven't spoken since. I deleted her number, her texts, everything. But I left her contact in my phone, buried deep under a single, specific name. That name was Caleb. Caleb. The host's voice pulled me back from the abyss. I snapped to attention, staring into the camera, my mind a complete blank. What do? Tell the truth. Tell them I have the new Golden Globe winner Sophia Reed in my phone as wifey. Tomorrow's headlines will be hashtag washed up actor Caleb Shaw stalks former flame Sophia Reed. Her 80 million fans would tear me to shreds online. They'd probably dox my dog. No, absolutely not. I had to make something up. Something bitter. Something that sounded exactly like what a guy who got dumped would use. My mind raced, and my mouth opened on its own. In that split second, an image flashed in my head. My bank account, which rarely saw a balance over 3 digits. So, I blurted out, ATM. The entire studio went silent. 1 second. 2. 3. Uffed. Someone snickered, and then the whole room erupted in thunderous laughter. ATM. Haha. An actual cash machine. Dude, you keep it real. The comedian sitting next to me slapped my shoulder, nearly falling off the sofa. The female contestants shot me looks of pity, a silent, "We get it, but we can't say it." The host, fighting back a grin, held up his mic. "Well, that's a Very direct contact name. It seems our Caleb was the giving type in that relationship. I forced a smile that felt more like a grimace. Deep inside, a voice was screaming, "Caleb, you idiot. What are you saying? You just told the world your ex used you for money. Who are you even trying to slander? Sophia. Does she need your money? Her fee for one movie is more than I'll make if I worked from the dawn of time until now." It was over. My life, it seemed, was about to end with a pathetic, embarrassing whimper at the age of 24. The second filming wrapped, I bolted backstage to find my agent, Big Mike. Big Mike is 5'8" and pushing 300 pounds. He was staring at his phone, the fat on his cheeks trembling like Jell-O in an earthquake. "See, Caleb, you're trending." I leaned over. Emblazoned on the screen were the hashtags. Hashtag Caleb checks ATM, hashtag heartbeat countdown, the ultimate sucker, hashtag who is Caleb Shaw's ATM ex. I clicked on one. The comment section was a war zone. "LMAO, what is this tragic story? He called his ex ATM. Bro, what did you go through?" "Dying. I came here to watch hot people fall in love, and instead, I found a dose of harsh reality. Who even is this guy? Kinda cute, but seems like he's got a couple screws loose. Aren't we missing the point? We need to find out who the ex is. Let's get to work, people. I bet it's that influencer he did that one web series with last year." "You're thinking too small. I'd bet my life savings it's someone famous in the industry. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the guts to say it." The world went dark. I nearly passed out. "Mike, is there any hope for me?" I asked, my voice trembling. Big Mike swallowed hard. "Don't panic. I've already got the PR team on it. We're leaning into this self-deprecating humor angle. It's fine. Probably." I didn't believe him for a second. I could already see my acting career. No, the career I hadn't even started yet. Going up in flames. I slumped into a chair, scrolling through Twitter with the energy of a dead man. The hashtag was climbing the trending list like a rocket, for the 30s all the way into the top 5. The internet had turned into a legion of private detectives, digging up every woman I had ever worked with, spoken to, or even stood next to in a photo. The scale of it was like a national census. I closed my eyes in despair. "Sophia, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm just a nobody trying to make rent. I never wanted to cause you this kind of trouble." I hoped she was too busy to see it, that she would never know. But Murphy's Law is a cruel mistress. What you fear most will always find you. Just as I was about to turn off my phone and play dead, a notification popped up. A priority follow alert. It was her. Sophia. Read. She had posted something. My hand shaking like I had Parkinson's, I tapped on it. At Sophia Reed V. Just wrapped for the day, scrolling through my phone. About that ATM thing. I'm guessing it was short for Always the Man. After all, I was once a light in someone's life. Image. The attached photo was of a vintage Superman figurine sitting on a windowsill against a warm, sunset-drenched background. For a full 10 seconds, the entire internet fell silent. Then it exploded. My Twitter notifications imploded. Comments, DMs, mentions flooded in, turning my phone into a frozen brick. On the trending list, the old hashtags vanished, replaced by a new one that made my soul leave my body. Hashtag Sophia is always the man next to it was the fiery red breaking tag. I stared at the post, at the familiar Superman figure, the one I'd saved up for a month to buy for her from a flea market back in college. She used to say I was her Superman, her light. And now, with a single elegant post, she had lifted me off the public executioner's block. But, dude, this clarification, isn't it a little extra? Always the man? Really? Now, what was just my own public humiliation had turned into a primetime mystery drama starring the two of us. The shippers and her die-hard fans immediately launched World War III in my mentions. OMG, OMG, OMG. It's real. I knew it was real. My clear as day ship is real. Can the shippers please stay in their own lane? Our queen is just being kind. She can't stand to see some nobody get cyber-bullied. Kind? You call this kind? This is a targeted charity case. She's basically a goddess coming down to save a mortal. Am I the only one who thinks her explanation is incredibly sweet? ATM equals always the man equals the light of her life. This is the stuff of romance novels. Caleb Shaw, you gold digger. Stay away from our queen. I stared at the comments, my scalp tingling. Big Mike had gone from trembling to petrified, his mouth hanging open wide enough to fit a baseball. "See, Caleb," he stammered. "I think we're a lot more famous now." I let out a bitter laugh. This wasn't fame. This was being roasted on a spit over an open flame. I had no idea why Sophia would do this. To protect me? Or for some other reason? All I knew was that from the moment she hit post, the thread between us that had been severed long ago was now tied back together, with a goddamn bow on top. I had a bad feeling about this. This dating show wasn't going to be so easy to coast through anymore. My bad feeling became reality the next morning. After a night of fermenting online, the ATM is Always The Man incident had become a national meme. The shipping hashtag for me and Sophia, hashtag clear as day, had gone from non-existent to top 10 on the fan pairing charts overnight. And I, Caleb Shaw, finally got a taste of what it felt like to be famous, even if it was for all the wrong reasons. At the crack of dawn, a producer with a megaphone dragged me out of bed and herded me with the other contestants to the show's main location, the Heartbeat Villa in the suburbs. The villa was gorgeous, pool, gardens, the works. I was in no mood to appreciate it. I just wanted to find a dark corner and hide until this was all over. "Good morning, contestants," the director boomed, his face flushed with excitement. "I have great news. The premiere was a huge hit. Our sponsors are thrilled, and they've arranged for a special mystery love guru to join us. She'll be with us for the rest of the filming." The other cast members dutifully applauded and cheered, guessing which A-lister it could be. I shrank at the back of the group, chanting a mantra in my head. "Please don't be who I think it is. Please don't be." The director drew out the suspense, pointing to the front door. "Let's give a huge round of applause for." The door opened. A slender, familiar figure, backlit by the morning sun, walked in. She wore a simple white sundress, her long hair cascading down her back. Her makeup was subtle, her cool elegance a stark contrast to the villa's glitzy decor. But her eyes, when they found mine, were like deep pools, swirling with 1,000 complicated emotions. It was Sophia Reed. My world went silent. I could practically hear the blood freezing in my veins. 5 words echoed in my mind. "Mr. Director, I'd like to quit." Whoa, it's Sophia Reed. Oh my God. The Golden Globe winner. In the flesh. The producers are insane. How did they pull this off? The cast erupted. The livestream chat went completely feral. Am I hallucinating? Sophia Reed is crashing a dating show. Are you kidding me, producers? This was supposed to be a Z-lister train wreck. You can't just drop an A-lister in here to dominate the game. Everyone shut up and ship. The main character just walked into the room. Hashtag clear as day, let's geo. Whoa, I get it now. Yesterday was the online rescue. Today is the in-person manhunt. Sophia, my queen, I respect the hustle. I watched, frozen, as Sophia was swarmed by the others. Her gaze, however, remained locked on me. It was a look of 3 parts hurt, 3 parts longing, and 4 parts pure determination. My scalp prickled. I turned to make a run for it. "Caleb!" Big Mike's voice boomed behind me. He grabbed the back of my collar and yanked me into a corner. "Where do you think you're going?" he hissed, his face a mask of fury. "I'm quitting. I'm out." I ground out through clenched teeth. "Mike, you remember what I said when we broke up, right? If she's there, I won't be. She's here, so I have to go." It was the last shred of my dignity. Big Mike sneered and pulled out his phone, shoving a document in my face. "Breach of contract clause, which you signed. The penalty is $8 million. You got that kind of cash?" I stared at the 8, followed by a long line of zeros. I could feel my dignity being curb-stomped by money. "No," I mumbled, defeated. "Then you get your ass back out there, and you film this show." Mike poked me in the forehead. "Do you have any idea how huge your ship is right now? This is the break of a lifetime, and you want to run away? Get it together. Be a professional. It's just acting. You win a Juilliard. You can't outact some indie darling." "Me?" "She won a Golden Globe." "Big Mike." He took a deep breath, his tone shifting to something more fatherly. "Caleb, listen to me. Just pretend this is a role the agency booked for you. Your co-star is Sophia Reed. Treat her like any other difficult, high-maintenance actress you're forced to work with. Channel that energy you have when you're hustling on set. Just get through it, okay?" What else could I say? With the expression of a man walking to the gallows, I was pushed back into the crowd. Sophia had finished her greetings and was now standing there, quietly watching me. The director, a natural pot stirrer, cheerfully handed me a microphone. "Caleb, since you two are old friends, why don't you welcome our new guest?" He said old friends with a heavy, meaningful emphasis. Every eye, every camera swiveled to me. This was a public execution. I took a deep breath and pasted on a standard issue, soul dead fake smile. "Hi, Ms. Reed. Welcome to Heartbeat Countdown." My tone was polite, distant, as if we were strangers who had once nodded at each other at an awards ceremony afterparty. The light in Sophia's eyes dimmed. She bit her lip gently and murmured, "Hello, Caleb." For a split second, my heart clenched, but I pushed it down. "No, Caleb, stay strong. You can't go soft. Think of the $8 million. For the rest of the day, I became a master of avoidance, a walking blur. Sophia sat across from me. I stared intently at my phone. Sophia looked out the window. I became fascinated by a blank wall. Sophia took a sip of water. I pretended to have a coughing fit. I used every ounce of my being to maintain a 10-foot radius from her at all times, refusing to give the cameras a single shot of us together. And Sophia, like a patient hunter, never took her eyes off me, her startled prey. She didn't speak or approach, just watched me with a look so full of hurt and longing it was practically spilling out of the screen. The live chat was losing its mind. OMG, the push and pull. He runs. She chases. He has nowhere to hide. Caleb's survival instinct is off the charts, LOL. Look at him squirming. He looks like a kid in class who just got cold called by the teacher. Sophia's gaze is everything. That cautious, can't hide the love expression. I'm crying. This is what love looks like. Caleb, you blockhead. Just look at her. A Golden Globe winner came here for you. What more do you want? I didn't want anything. I just wanted to go home. Finally, we reached the afternoon game segment. Today's game is Charades, the director announced. You'll be in pairs. The pair with the best chemistry wins a private date for tomorrow. The pair with the worst chemistry has to clean the entire villa. Clean the villa. My eyes lit up. That wasn't a punishment. It was a prize custom-made for me. No date, no forced romance for the cameras, just a quiet day of chores inside the villa. It was paradise. I had to win that prize. We drew lots for partners. I closed my eyes and prayed, anyone but Sophia, anyone but Sophia. Then I opened them just in time to see Sophia pull a card from the box that was an exact match for the ace of hearts in my hand. Me. Just end it all. I'm so tired. The game started, and I was forced to stand next to her. I was stone-faced. She had a faint, knowing smile playing on her lips. First round, I described, she guessed. To ensure our loss, I went into full sabotage mode. First word, lipstick. Me, pass. Second word, necklace. Me, pass. Third word, rose. Me, pass. I passed on a dozen words in a row. The atmosphere grew incredibly awkward. The other contestants were looking at me like I'd lost my mind. Sophia just watched me patiently, not rushing, not getting angry. Then it was her turn to describe, and my turn to guess. Perfect, I thought. I'll just guess random garbage, and we'll be guaranteed last place. The first card she drew was, of course, ATM. My eyes widened. Producers, you magnificent bastards. Sophia looked at the card, paused, then lifted her head and gave me a long, meaningful look. She said nothing. She just looked at me. I was getting unnerved. I was about to guess something generic like credit card to get over with. But then she spoke, her voice clear. It's ATM. Me? Everyone else. The host was confused. Sophia, you haven't described anything yet. And Caleb hasn't guessed. Sophia smiled sweetly. He glanced at me 3 times, and his eyes kept darting away. I knew it had to be a word related to us. And what's been more related to us lately than this? Live chat. Holy cow, what is this psychic connection? All it took was a look. Me. A coincidence. It has to be a coincidence. Second word. Stuffed animal. I smirked internally. Let's see how you hint at this one. Sophia looked at me, a faint blush on her cheeks. She leaned into the microphone and said, in a voice barely above a whisper, the prize. For winning. You know. My face flushed crimson. I remembered one night, after she came home exhausted from a press junket, I'd hidden behind the door with a giant, fluffy rabbit I'd won for her at the Santa Monica Pier. I'd used a silly voice to make her laugh. She had laughed until she cried, hugging me and saying, "Caleb, you're my prize." This woman, she was doing this on purpose. The live chat was in shambles. What prize? What did he win? What are they talking about? Stop. My mind's going to dirty places. The live stream is going to get shut down. This is too much. What prize are they talking about? I'm willing to pay to hear the full story. I ground my teeth and squeezed out the words. Stuffed animal. Correct. Third word, body wash. Sophia's smile deepened. The one we used to share. Your favorite scent. My mind instantly flashed to us, squeezed into our tiny bathroom, sharing a cheap bottle of lavender body wash. I closed my eyes, resigned. Body wash. Correct again. Fourth word, white rabbit. Sophia's eyes sparkled. A role you once played. My favorite one. To make rent in college. I'd taken a gig wearing a giant rabbit costume to hand out flyers at mall. It was a scorching hot day, and I was on the verge of heat stroke inside the suit. She had appeared out of the crowd with a bottle of ice-cold water and secretly kissed the top of my fuzzy rabbit head. White rabbit. My voice was starting to shake. She got every single one. Even though I had intentionally bombed my round, her perfect score in the second half meant our total score was first place. When the director announced the results, the world started spinning. Congratulations to Caleb and Sophia, our most in-sync pair of the day. You've won an all-day sweet escape to the amusement park tomorrow. I looked at the triumphant, sly smile on Sophia's face and finally understood. I had picked a fight with a woman I could never, ever beat. The next day, I was shoved into the van headed for the amusement park, my soul having already left my body. Sophia sat right next to me. From the moment we got in, she was turned towards me, an irrepressible smile on her face. I stared straight ahead, pretending to be a statue. Are you still mad? She asked suddenly, her voice soft. I ignored her. I wasn't trying to do that during the game yesterday, she continued. It's just, when I saw those words, all I could think of was you. I couldn't help it. I snorted internally. Liar. You did it on purpose. When I didn't answer, she sighed and pulled a small thermos from her bag. She opened it and held it out to me. You skipped breakfast. I brought you some oatmeal. You know you can't have an empty stomach. A familiar, comforting scent filled the air. Oatmeal with cinnamon and apples, just the way I liked it. Back when I was too lazy to eat in the morning, she would always wake up half an hour early to make it for me. My heart, the traitor, softened for a moment. But I steeled myself and said coldly, No, thanks. I'm not hungry. Her hand froze midair, and the light in her eyes flickered out. The temperature in the van dropped to absolute zero. Even the cameraman filming us had a pained expression on his face. The live chat was tearing me a new one. Caleb, are you even human? A beautiful woman is literally spoon-feeding you, and you refuse. He's not angry. He's scared. He knows if he looks at her, he'll break. Ugh, my poor Sophia is trying so hard. This is going to be a long road. When we got to the park, I saw all the romantic rides, the carousel, the Ferris wheel, and had only one thought. How do I end this date as quickly as possible? Suddenly, my eyes lit up. I saw it in the distance. A towering monster of twisted steel and stomach-churning drops. A roller coaster. I remembered very clearly that Sophia had a crippling fear of heights. She was scared of tall ladders, let alone something like this. A perfect plan formed in my mind. I pointed at the roller coaster. Let's go on that. Sophia, follow my finger, and her face went completely pale. Isn't that a little high? She stammered. What, you scared? I taunted. If you don't want to, we could just call the date off right now. I was sure she'd back down, and we could go our separate ways. To my shock, she took a deep breath and nodded. Okay, as long as you're with me, I'll do it. I was stunned. She was willing to face her biggest fear just to spend time with me. A confusing mix of guilt and admiration churned in my stomach. As we waited in line, Sophia's hands were clenched, her body trembling slightly. Looking at her pale face, I finally caved. Are you sure about this? You can still back out. She shook her head, her gaze firm. I'm sure. You always used to say you want to take me on a roller coaster, to feel that heart-pounding rush. Today, I want to make that happen for you. My heart felt like it had been punched. I turned away, unable to look her in the eye. The coaster clanked its way to the peak. At the very top, Sophia squeezed her eyes shut and grabbed my hand. Her palm was ice cold and slick with sweat. The next second, we plunged. Ah! A blood-curdling scream filled the air. But it wasn't Sophia's scream. It was mine. I had forgotten. I'm terrified of heights, too. I was so focused on my brilliant scheme that I completely forgot I was just as big a chicken as she was. My scream seemed to startle her. She opened her eyes and saw my face, pale as a ghost, shrieking for dear life. And then she burst out laughing. Amidst the roaring wind and my pathetic wails, I saw her smile, as bright and brilliant as the sun. When we got off, my legs were jelly. I clung to the railing, dry heaving. Sophia, on the other hand, was perfectly fine. She gently patted my back and handed me a bottle of water. "How was it? Feel that heart-pounding rush?" she asked, trying to suppress a laugh. Me? My dignity was now somewhere at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Just as I was contemplating digging a hole and burying myself in it, Sophia's entire demeanor changed. She tugged on my sleeve, her voice suddenly turning into a tiny, whimpering sob. "Caleb, I was so scared. My legs are weak. Can you hold me?" She leaned against me, her body going limp like a boneless cat, and snuggled into my side. I froze. What? What was happening? Who was that person laughing her head off on the ride? And who was this little crybaby? Before I could process it, she had buried her face in my chest, her voice muffled. "It's all your fault, making me ride that scary thing. You have to make it up to me." The other parkgoers and staff were all giving us that "oh, young love" look. The live chat was a waterfall of text. OMG, the reversal. My Ice Queen actress is secretly a clingy baby. She's so smart. She's a genius. First, she's strong for him. Then she acts weak, so he'll comfort her. Caleb stands no chance. You're wrong. She's not faking it. She was genuinely terrified, but she did it for him. Now that it's over, the fear and relief are hitting her. That's what makes it so touching. I was so flustered by this sudden cute and cuddly attack that I just stood there stiffly, letting her cling to me. Her familiar, sweet scent filled my senses, making my head spin. After a moment, she looked up, her eyes red-rimmed like a little rabbit's. "I'm thirsty," she said. "I'll go get you some water," I said, escaping. When I came back, she was holding a huge bouquet of colorful balloons. She smiled when she saw me and held them out. "For you." I froze. This scene, it was so familiar. Junior year, I lost the election for student body president. I was sitting alone on the athletic field, sulking. She found me, said nothing, and just ran off. She came back with a giant bunch of balloons. "Caleb, look," she had said. "Balloons just need a little wind to fly high. Your balloon. Right now, there's just no wind. Don't be sad. From now on, I'll be your wind." That day, to cheer me up, she spent the whole afternoon selling balloons on the quad and used the $20 she made to buy me a pile of barbecue skewers. The memories flooded back, and my eyes began to burn. I looked at the smiling woman in front of me. She had changed so much, and yet she hadn't changed at all. I took the balloons, a lump forming in my throat. I couldn't speak. "Come on," she said, linking her arm through mine as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "Let's go find the next ride." This time, I didn't pull away. In that moment, the dam I had built around my heart cracked. That night, back at the villa, the producers organized another round of Truth or Dare. Apparently, they felt the daytime date hadn't been sweet enough and decided to up the dosage. After a few rounds, the bottle landed squarely on Sophia. One of the female contestants asked with a smirk, "Sophia, are you on this show for one specific person?" Every head in the room swiveled to me. I looked down, pretending to study the wood grain of the floor, but my ears were burning. Sophia met everyone's gaze without flinching. She nodded. Then, her eyes found mine, and she said, loud and clear for everyone to hear, "Yes." The word landed with the force of a gavel. A collective gasp went through the room. The live chat exploded. She admitted it. She admitted it. She came for him. I could feel my face getting hotter. Another male contestant, clearly going for a scoop, pressed on. "So, Sophia, about that ATM contact name. Do you really believe it meant Always the Man?" It was a sharp, pointed question. Everyone expected her to dodge it or give some PR-approved answer. Instead, she raised an eyebrow, a small smile playing on her lips, and said something that broke the internet. I earn my money for my man to spend. What's wrong with that? Boom. My brain, for the second time, because of her, completely short-circuited. My man. Who was she calling my man? The other contestants were completely frozen, their mouths hanging open, looking like a scene from a movie that had been paused. The live stream chat, after lagging for a solid second, began to scroll at a terrifying speed. Oh, what did I just hear? My man. Is Sophia insane, or am I? Is this something I'm allowed to hear for free? Ah, she is so bold. I declare Sophia Reed my one and only queen, a true ride or die. So what if she's head over heels? I love this for her. Caleb Shaw, if you don't marry this woman, I will riot. I was dumbfounded, staring at her. She met my gaze, a hint of defiance and triumph in her eyes, as if to say, see, I'll say anything. I lost. I had well and truly lost. Perhaps even God thought I'd suffered enough, because the next spin landed the bottle on me. I chose dare without hesitation. I was scared, genuinely terrified. I was afraid they'd ask me, is what Sophia said true? How could I possibly answer that? The dare card handed to me by the producer's red frowny face with the person to your right. Complete the Pocky challenge. I turned my head mechanically to the right. Sophia was looking at me with a dazzling smile, already holding a Pocky stick. Me? I must have been hit by a meteor on my way here today. I'll start, she said. Before I could protest, she had already placed one end of the chocolate-coated biscuit stick between her lips and offered the other end to me. The cameras, the lights, everyone's eyes, they were all focused on that one fragile stick between us. I could smell her faint, floral perfume mixed with the sweet scent of chocolate. It was a lethal combination. My mind went blank. On pure instinct, I leaned forward and bit down on the other end. Time seemed to slow down. Inch by inch, we moved closer. I could see the individual strands of her long eyelashes, the starlight glittering in her eyes. Just as our lips were about to touch, panic set in and I started to pull back. But Sophia suddenly leaned in, quickly snapping the last bit of Pocky. A soft, warm pressure brushed against my lips. Just for a second, she had kissed me. Then she pulled back, licked a crumb from her lips like a cat who had just gotten the cream, and announced proudly, sweet. The live stream crashed. And I, Caleb Shaw, for the first time in my 24 years, knew what it felt like to have your CPU overload and melt on the spot. After the Pocky challenge, I fled. Using I'm a lightweight as an excuse, I left the game early and locked myself in my room. I needed to think. I leaned against the door, my heart still hammering against my ribs. I could still feel the ghost of her touch, the taste of chocolate and her on my lips. I was so screwed. The carefully constructed walls I had built around my heart were crumbling under Sophia's relentless assault. I ran my hands through my hair in frustration, grabbed a beer from the mini fridge, and chugged it. The cold liquid did nothing to extinguish the fire in my chest. I don't know how many I drank. The room started to spin, and memories replayed in my mind like a movie. The first time we met, at freshman orientation, she had a ponytail and a white dress. She smiled at me, and my whole world burst into bloom. Our first date, at a cheap taco stand off campus. I used my work-study money to buy her dinner. The hot sauce made her eyes water, but she said it was the best thing she'd ever eaten. Our first kiss, in a dusty corner of the library stacks. I pretended to reach for a book on the highest shelf and stole a quick kiss. Her face turned as red as an apple. Then she got more and more famous. More auditions, more travel. We saw each other less and less. I'd watch her shining on screen and then look at my own reflection, haggard and worn out from chasing a one-line role. The feeling of inadequacy was like a vine, wrapping around my heart and squeezing until I couldn't breathe. I loved her. I loved her down to my very bones. And because I loved her, I couldn't be the stain on her perfect career, the anchor holding her back. Breaking up with her was the last act of love I thought I could give her. But God, I missed her so much. The alcohol hit me, and all the hurt, the longing, the regret, it all came flooding out. I curled up, hugging my knees, feeling like a lost little kid. Knock, knock, knock. I ignored it. Caleb, open the door. It's me. It was Sophia. I buried my head deeper. Caleb, please open the door. I know you're in there. Did you drink too much? Let me see you. Her voice was laced with worry. I didn't move. It was quiet for a moment. I thought she'd left. Suddenly, I heard a click. The door swung open. She had a spare key card to my room. I snapped my head up to see her standing in the doorway, her eyes red. I started, but a wave of nausea cut me off. I bolted to the bathroom and threw up everything. A gentle hand rubbed my back. When I was done, she handed me a glass of warm water and a hot towel, carefully wiping my face. I was too weak to protest. Let her take care of me. Why did you drink so much? She asked, her voice full of pain. I looked at her, the alcohol stripping away all my defenses. Why did you come here? I asked, my voice raw. Sophia froze. Why did you post that tweet? Why did you come on this show? Do you have any idea what a mess this could be for you? Sophia, you're a Golden Globe winner now, not some college kid who could do whatever she wants. I was practically shouting. She stared at me, and a tear rolled down her cheek. Because of you, she yelled back. Caleb, you idiot. Do you really think I didn't know what you were thinking? You decided you weren't good enough for me, that you were holding me back. So you made this noble, selfless decision to push me away. You thought you were being some kind of hero, didn't you? Did you ever once ask me what I wanted? Did you ever stop to think about what I need? She was crying now, hitting my chest with her small fists. They didn't have much force, but each one felt like a blow to my heart. I grabbed her hands, looking at her through blurry, drunken eyes. What do you need? Sophia, look at your life. You have everything. You don't need anything that I can give you. I need you, she cried out. I have everything, but I don't have you. Caleb, you were my rock. Without you, what's the point of winning awards or being famous? The night I won the Globe, the first person I thanked in my speech was you. Everyone thought I was talking about my first director, but I was talking about you. You were the one who told me I was the best when I was at my lowest. I've thought about it a lot. It was my fault. I got too busy with filming, with press tours. I neglected you. I didn't make you feel secure. I'm sorry, Caleb. Please, don't leave me again, okay? She was sobbing, completely undone, like a heartbroken child. My heart shattered into a million pieces. She knew. All this time, she knew. My self-righteous sacrifice had been, for her, the cruelest kind of pain. What a bastard I'd been. I reached out and pulled her into a crushing hug, holding her so tightly it felt like I was trying to merge our bones. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I whispered over and over, my own tears finally falling. We were like two wounded animals who, after so long apart, had finally learned how to retract our quills and hold each other close. She didn't leave that night. She helped me shower and change me into clean clothes. In the process, her own clothes got wet. It was a flimsy excuse, but I didn't call her on it. We lay in the same bed, just like we used to years ago. She curled up against my chest, fitting perfectly in the space that had always been hers. Caleb, she whispered against my ear, I missed you so much. Me too, I said, kissing her forehead. All the misunderstandings, all the heartache, dissolved in that single embrace. We were back together. The next morning, I woke up to a pleasant disturbance. Sophia was lying on my chest like a cat, gently tracing my eyebrows with her finger. When she saw I was awake, her face broke into a sunny smile. She leaned in and gave me a soft kiss. Good morning, my ATM. I laughed and tweaked her nose. Good morning, my Superman. We smiled at each other, no more words needed. We were, however, blissfully unaware that our intimate moment had been witnessed by the entire country. Apparently, the producers, in an effort to create surprises, had installed a hidden camera in the hallway. And, by accident, they had switched on a live stream early that morning. My hotel room door, as it turned out, hadn't been fully closed. So, through a crack in the door, the nation had enjoyed a 10-minute, high-definition live show of Golden Globe winners' morning after kiss. By the time we lazily picked up our phones, the world had changed. Hashtag Caleb and Sophia back together. Hashtag hallway cam for the win. Hashtag just get married. Already 3 hashtags occupied the top 3 trending spots. Big Mike's call came immediately. He sounded like he'd just won the lottery. Caleb, my boy, we did it. We're A-list. DONT say why anything. Don't do anything. Just wait for me. Wait for the official PR strategy. I hung up and looked at Sophia. She was already looking at me, her expression calm and resolute. Caleb, she said, let's make it official. I blinked. Are you sure? This could affect your career. She shook her head, her eyes serious. My career was always about getting to a place where I could stand by your side without anyone questioning it. I think we're there. I looked at her, and a wave of courage washed over me. To hell with the doubt. To hell with the insecurity. My girlfriend was a Golden Globe winner, a superstar, a force of nature, and I was going to work my ass off to be the man who deserved to stand with her. I logged into Twitter, found my humiliating ATM post, and quote-tweeted it with a new message. At Caleb Shaw Official. With money, I'll take you to paradise. Without money, I'll take you to the discount aisle. As long as it's with you. At Sophia Reed V. At almost the exact same moment, Sophia posted. At Sophia Reed V. I have a simple dream. My money is yours, my credit cards are yours, and I am yours. At Caleb Shaw Official. The two posts were like depth charges dropped into the already churning waters of the internet. The servers crashed. Again. The final episode of Heartbeat Countdown became our massive public coming out party. During the final confession segment, Sophia, dressed in a stunning white gown and holding a bouquet of flowers, walked steadily towards me. Mr. Caleb Shaw, she said, her voice ringing clear in front of a national audience. I, Sophia Reed, am officially asking you out. I love you. I have loved you. I love you now, and I will love you forever. Will you be the one and only leading man in the story of my life? I smiled, walked forward, took the flowers from her hands, and pulled her into my arms. I will. I dipped my head and kissed my girl. The cameras flashed, and the applause was deafening. I knew, in that moment, that my life was starting a brand new chapter. In the end, we quit the show. On a bright, sunny morning, we stood in an embrace in our old, tiny studio apartment in the valley. I'd kept it exactly as we left it. Sophia opened the drawer of the nightstand and pulled out a small box, dangling it in front of me. It was a box of condoms from a year ago, from before we broke up. She leaned in close, her breath warm against my ear, and whispered with a wicked smile. Caleb, these are about to expire. We should probably use them up, don't you think? The sun was shining, a gentle breeze was blowing. My girl was in my arms, smiling like a beautiful devil. And I thought this, right here, must be what happiness feels like.